Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I've posted. If you've been following me on my other social medias on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you've seen what I've been sharing and what I've been focusing on. I'm not going to use any words to get this account triggered or flagged because the rest of mine are right now. But so if you haven't, then you can go over and check my social medias and see what I've been focusing my energy on for a while. But I wanted to do a message from your future self. Now, we're not doing a pick a card. We're going to do this just in a collective way. And let's go ahead and get started. I asked some of you, if you are on Facebook, make sure you're following me over there because I do post mainly over there just because the platform is the easiest to interact with you guys on. But I asked you guys on Facebook, like, what did you want to do next reading that I was going to be recording, and asked what you thought about this particular question, and you all seem to like it. So let's go ahead and see what message our future self has for the collective. Now, this is a collective message, so that you take the bits and pieces that are for you. Only take what resonates. Don't take anything that's not, because there could be a lot of different things that pop out. Okay. If you want to book a personal reading, if you're listening to this shortly after it's posted, I'm currently running a 40% off sale off your total order. So that includes readings, decks, etc. And I'll be running that till the 1st of the month of December. So if you're watching shortly after posted, check that out. Okay, Spirit, what message do we have for the collective from their future self? From their future selves. All right, we have a dragon. Beware of self-delusion. This is a big one, guys. This is a big one. And I have a friend that's watching this, and she probably already knows where I'm about to go because I've been talking about this for years. I'm a little obsessive about it. We have a big transit coming up that has so much potential to have such bad ramifications when it comes to people becoming extremely delusional, a lot of cult-like behavior, falling in, with gurus, etc. Like right now, take your time to go check out Netflix, go check out all these like spiritual things that are being exposed, like these different groups and cults and things like that. But also when it comes to, some of my listeners, probably not many, but some of my listeners do follow organized religion, even those areas getting further into cult-like mentality and behavior. It's Neptune is going to be transiting into Aries, I believe, 2025 and 2025-2026 area, and it's really concerning, especially as I'm seeing just how things are playing out on the world stage and all across the world, and especially the United States, which was where I am. So that is what this card is reminding me of, that there is going to be a lot of people that are going to be struggling with walking that very fine line of spiritual enlightenment and delusions. Everything needs to be brought back to this space of, how is this affecting my life right now in this moment? Does this change anything about what I'm doing? Does this change how I want to be as a person, and etc.? Because you can get really, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of people out there that don't always have the best intentions as well. So you always need to use your discernment, and you always need to also, not just using your discernment, you need to remind yourself that you are capable of making errors, and you're capable of being influenced, and you're capable of, anybody has the potential, just the way the brains work, of falling into these traps of thinking that get you all of a sudden into some cult-like behavior or situation. And that doesn't always mean it's a situation where you're going and moving in with a bunch of people, which I could definitely see that as something that starts to happen, especially with the way that the economy and how things are financially for just everyone. There's a lot that's kind of setting us up to have that energy really manifest a very harmful way, which Neptune and Aries could be a lot of wars based on religion or spiritual thoughts. And that would be more on the between countries and things. But when you boil it down, because it's always going to be a micro and macro and a micro view of things, we're going to be seeing again more like spiritual based cults, religious cults, or religious sects branching out even further, getting it more just not good. And then fighting over who's right, a lot of fighting over whose mythology is right. So don't assume that you can't get caught up in it because you're a witch, or because you're spiritual, or because this stuff exists in covens and it exists in everything. So that's why I say, if you haven't already, go on Netflix. You just as much as there's things that happen in organized religion, there's things that happen in spiritual circles as well. So be mindful who you're following. I personally, I correct people when they say, oh, like, I see you as a spiritual guru, blah, blah. Like, please do not, do not ever do that. I am not that. That's not me. I'm a person that's sharing the information that I get. And I go through a lot of really difficult things, and I make a lot of bad decisions and mistakes. And I am not somebody that's evolved into some status that I don't even think exists. I think that's a red flag if you hear somebody trying to say that they have evolved or they are enlightened to this point that is out of what you are, or what you have a capability of being, without having to spend, I don't know, tens of thousands of dollars with them to figure it out. So I'm literally here just to share information and keep it moving. And if you always just remind yourself, no matter what you're resonating with, that the person on the other side is just a person, and they have their own experiences and they could also have their own agenda. You'll be okay. Okay. Carry skepticism with you, no matter who it is, including myself. Like, just don't fall into, I can't, I'm like watching these things on Netflix. I'm like it's blowing my mind how people do this, for one, like purposefully are doing these things and twisting these theories, and two, how people are falling in line with it so easily without any type of questioning or like wondering. So that's just I see why that would come out. Now also, beyond that, this can also go with just any type of self-destructive tendencies and things of that nature. I know you guys don't want to hear this, but let's be honest right now. When we're talking about astrology and transits, I don't know what certain people talk about when they're like, oh, it's looking really great next month, whatever. I haven't seen a good set of transits for a significant period of time, like a really good combination of stuff, for a while. And it's not going to really ease up until like after 2025, 2026. Like that, the pressure started back in like 2018, and it was just going to continue. The pressure cooker was going to continue to intensify. And if you can reflect on what has happened since then, I think you can agree with me that it's been accurate so far. So we're in like the midst of it, and you gotta keep grounded and don't let yourself fall into any type of space where you're actually, whether it's things that scare you or whether it's things that make you really excited and happy, you gotta watch both of the extreme emotions, because that could be that Neptunian influence, that could be that delusion. Okay. All right, we have chain of events that will affect you. And then notice this has the world in it. There's a chain of events that's going to happen on the world stage that's going to affect you. And these are things that you're not going to have control over. So one thing that I'm hearing we have been learning as a collective was to learn how to navigate situations that are out of our control. And we've been given multiple situations in the past couple of years that have been out of our control. So we can see how we function in that type of dynamic. Like, these situations have happened while we've been very self-aware, so we can see how we function in it, what needs to change, what works, what doesn't. And this is because of things that were going to be happening on the world stage that will affect your life. This is not to scare anybody. This is not any like gloom and doom, just saying that will affect your life. I'm sure many of you watching this have already seen things on the world stage that have happened recently that have affected your life. So let's see, we have wind chimes, peace and harmony. Yeah, this is not to be doom and gloom, but this is to say that things are going to change, are going to continue to change. And I'm hearing acceleration. So the rate of which things are changing, and it's like the new day, what new horror, or it's a new day, like what new, like what? Like just things that make you like say like, what the fuck? Basically, like, what is that? Or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that actually was true. I can't believe that was just a conspiracy, right? Like everybody said that was happening, and then all those people that said that was happening were crazy or whatever, or got their names trashed, but then it happened to be true. Things like that are going to continue to come out, and it's going to be an accelerated process. And this has an effect on your life, because either maybe some things are directly connected to you, but overall this is going to affect just how you handle this rapid change and how people change around you as a result of it. And I keep on hearing some things are out of your hands. I'm seeing like one thing that is coming up that's really strong is legislation. I know there's talks about certain things at certain years. I don't know what numbers or what things I say that can get my account flagged. So, but I know there's certain talks about certain projects. I don't know if this is a warning that is the trajectory we are on, but legislation was something that popped up as something that may be out of your control. But we have wind chimes, peace and harmony. So this is, I feel like kind of a, hey, chill out, don't freak out. It's not all bad, but there is chaos. There's chaos to come. There's been chaos. You're getting kind of more acclimated to chaos. And there's more to come. There's more things that will change and things that will be revealed on a world stage, in a world stage type of way, is what your future self is telling you. Okay, we have door. Yes, opportunities are waiting for you. I'm hearing right now, I think a lot of you are in a space where you're kind of like, what the fuck do I do next? That's what I'm hearing. Like there's like this pause, or there's this like, I don't really know what the next move is. I don't know what my next step is. When you've arrived to it, because I'm seeing somebody that's just continuing to kind of walk down this path, and right now there's just trees on both sides. There's not anything to do. There's nowhere to go or to explore. It's like, stay on the path. When you arrive, you'll know. So when your opportunity, when that move that you need to make arrives, you'll know. So you don't need to be freaking out right now, trying to figure out like, am I wasting, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I think a lot of right now, what I'm getting here is learning how to be okay not having something that you're aiming to do, if that makes sense. Like learning being okay in that waiting period, being okay with being less productive or productive in different type of ways. So I don't necessarily feel this energy of like doing like resting or recuperating, but I feel like it's a different type of productivity that you're not used to. So maybe some of these opportunities or things you're waiting for are more career related or financial related, and you're needing to kind of shift your focus on other aspects of your life and yourself. And when those opportunities do show up, they'll be there. Or maybe for some, it's really, it's love. Because oftentimes, if I get the example of career finances, love also goes in with that as well. All right, All right, we're not going to use this deck anymore. Or at least this half of the deck. We're going to switch over to the other half. What else does the collective's future selves want to let you all know? We have, nice, the sun. So happiness and well-being. Yes, I think some of you are a bit concerned about that beginning of the reading of things just not being too chaotic or too bad. No, there's a lot of really like good energy that will be there as well. But I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it and just be like, yeah, things are gonna be great. Like, no, there's like chaos. There's actual, like, I'm hearing the word chaos. there's chaos and there's opportunities to fall under very self-destructive patterns of behavior. I'm hearing, what are some ways that you can kind of preemptively, like, I guess not preemptively, but prepare yourself, would be if you can sit there and think, or maybe even journal about, what do you do when you feel out of control? How do you try to take control back of your life? Like, what is it that you find yourself doing? Not like consciously, but unconsciously. Like, what are you just drawn to start doing? I know for me, whenever like things get really bad and I feel like I have absolutely no control, the one thing I will do is I'll get really weird with my cleaning. Like, I'll get really, really weird with the cleaning. It's just very obsessive, because I feel like that's the one area I can control. I can control how clean something is, and it makes me feel like I have something. So like that's something that I kind of noticed about myself, and I didn't notice it until like I was doing it. I was like, oh wait, I'm kind of doing this thing and I'm feeling really out of control, and I have a feeling that's why I'm doing it. So it's that, like, if you can kind of reflect on things that you may not be totally aware of you're doing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see what else. All right, we have feather. Someone you know is undependable and insincere. Huh. You know, I'm hearing something about picking a good partner for the end days. Again, I'm not saying that that's what's coming through in this reading. I don't really believe in that type of talk anyway. So I believe any type of end anything is just some sort of, is a transformation. But this to me is more giving, like, some of you either have relationships, or like romantic relationships or friendships or family members that you have these connections with, and they are just not the type of person that you would want to be on your team if there were zombies or something. Like, they are not the type of person that you would want to be stuck with if there was no more electronics, right? No more power. Like, I think some of these things that are going to be happening on the world stage, whether it is how these people in your life react, their opinions to it, it's going to show you that this is not the type of person that you want to be connected with, and they're not sincere, and they are not the type, they are I'm hearing for some, they're a taker. So it could be something as simple as, like, let's use the example of what's going on right now with a certain famous rapper that got sued, and a bunch of information came out about him and his activities that are very bad. And there's a lot more that's going to be coming out about. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then just imagine something like that. It could be this person defending that type of behavior, or like I said, just having an opinion or some sort of reaction to something that you see as like a limit, basically. Like, oh, we can disagree, but this is a limit for me. Now, for some, I would say this would more than likely be very few. It might be an actual reaction to something that's happening to you both, how they go about, like, how they're moving, So what I'm being shown is, if, like, you got scared, like, if you're walking down the street and somebody jumps out to scare you, somebody pushing you towards that person so they can run and get away, right? Like, it's that type of energy where it's like, I'm gonna throw you to the wolves so I make sure I get away. I'm not, again, I want to be really careful because I don't want to freak anybody out that something bad's going to happen to them. But if there is something physically happening, it could be like that, where you see, like, oh, like, yeah, you don't care about me, like, or you would, you're not there, you're not going to protect me, or you don't have my best interest in mind. But I think most of you, this is more of an awareness through, because I'm hearing singing. Like, this is more of an awareness through somebody's voice, through what they say. And what they say versus like what they say when it matters or how they move when it matters. You're going to see that clear discrepancy, and it's going to be like, no, I can't trust you. I think also you're going to be seeing in the future how certain people that you're holding on to brought a lot of disharmony in your life and took away a lot of your peace. Okay, you will meet your soulmate when the time is right. Yeah, so like I said, some of you, this message is about being patient for like when that person comes, when it is time for that person, like it's going to be undeniable. Also, going back to this part, I think a lot of you're finding out that somebody that you're close to just really is not the type of connection that you're wanting. Paint your dreams, sing your songs, and enjoy the dance. Life is art. So, let me move this out of the way. Had a notification. So, you all are, I think your future self is telling you that while things, okay, this is interesting. There's this sense of letting you know that things are going to continue to be serious and they're going to get more chaotic and things are going to be more serious. But at the same time, there needs to be even more light in your life to kind of counteract that. Even more love and even more joy. It is not okay to fall into a pit of despair based on the things that are happening, because you're still needing to create life. Like that's what you came down here, is to create life. And that's not saying you need to have a bunch of children. That is saying like you need to create joy and you need to create art and you need to enjoy yourself and not feel guilty for that. In times where maybe the guilt creeps in. There needs to be a balance. So that, going back to that self-delusion, if you're the type of person, I'll use another example of what I know I do. If you start focusing on other things versus your own, and you're getting very focused on these other people's problems or other situations as a distraction from what's going on inside of yourself. To check yourself on those things. So that's what I'm saying. Sit down and really think about what do I do to avoid the bad feelings? What do I do to avoid the inner chaos? How do I try to escape from it? Like being real honest, so that way you can identify it if it starts to pop up. Because the issue with that dragon energy is it's really easy to just ignore the little whisper of, hey, this is not really it. This is not really what you want, or this is not really what you're mad about, or this is not really how you want to react, or, this is not the decision you want to make. Like, it's really easy to ignore that little whisper. So, let me grab my newest deck. This is Alexis Raccoon. I've been following her on Instagram for, I think probably since, 2018, 19. And I got so excited when she said she was releasing a deck. I pre-ordered it. And I got it back in October, but I haven't done a reading since I got it for you all. So we'll use it tonight. If you've gotten a private reading with me, you may have seen this deck. And you can book those at my website, because I always get asked in the comments if I do private readings. I do. All right, we have Find Those Who Inspire You to... Oh my goodness. Find those who inspire you to bloom, grow together, community, connection, reciprocation. Yeah, you're definitely, your future self wants you to know that you are going to be coming into alignment and meeting new people and creating a community, like a real true community of people that you can rely on. So these relationships, it doesn't have to be romantic or anything like that. It really could be friends and family as well, because it's like this rebuilding of a true community. But again, you need to be really mindful that these connections are reciprocated. The energy is a give and take, and it's not just somebody that is coming in to take and manipulate while pretending like there's a reciprocation, because that is going to be heightened across the board for everyone, of just more people just trying to take. So unfortunately, as things get harder, people get more desperate and they start doing not great things. So The other thing I'm noticing about this is we have number 33. So that is, what is it called? I'm forgetting the name of that, the specific name, but I don't know. It's driving me crazy. I cannot think of the number or the name of it. What is it called? Master. That is a master number in numerology. So it also can be number 6 as well. So you may want to look that up, that might be significant to you. I'm hearing mastery of life. You're feeling like you're starting to master life in a way that makes me kind of laugh, because I'm like, yeah, but how? Like, come on, you can't do that. Like, nobody's doing that, but like, you're just feeling like you have more footing, right? Like you understand things more. Oh, I've never seen this card. So we have the gifted guide, and it has this giant mushroom looking guy. You don't need it all figured out. Yeah, stars, chaos, opportunity. Holy shit. Literally chaos on the card. What I've been talking about, how there is chaos that was going to continue to happen. I'm hearing again, part of your experience over the last couple years have been for you to see that you don't have to have everything figured out all the time. That's why so many things that you have had planned out have been flipped upside down, and for it to all work out anyway, and generally to work out in an even better way than what you would have been able to plan. So there's been little kind of tests and trials to get you acclimated to that energy, because when it hit the world stage, you needed to be better prepared than you were a couple years ago. You are going to be helping, and I've been talking about this to you guys since I started this channel. The reason why you all have started to shift into different awarenesses, starting, a lot of you that are here, and of course you might be before this, but a lot of you that are here, it's been going on since like 2014 and up. So you're not new to spiritual awakening and questioning things or anything like of that nature. And the reason why you are in kind of a bit ahead of things compared to a big chunk of the collective that came in with COVID, 2020 woke a lot of people up. Why you didn't come in with them is because you were to help guide them in, but also there's going to be, and again, I've been talking about this since my earlier videos, there's going to be a significant point of which things happen, like a lot of stuff comes out at once on the world stage, and it's gonna get people a little bit, a lot of people are going to wake up at once and have like these realizations at once and these questions at once, just like what happened with COVID, where there was a lot of like that. And look what happened with COVID. Look at the craziness that happened because of that shift of consciousness and people not being grounded. Now, that was something that was much smaller, especially when we're talking about the transits that were happening during that time. What I feel like is going to happen, you're going to have that like times 10, times 50. And I'm not saying all the horrible things that had happened, but just that sense of like, wait a minute, how come things are working this way? Or like, you know, everything that people kind of realized when that virus hit. I realized I said that virus too many times, and now I'm worried I'll get demonetized. But you know what I'm talking about if you're here, about everybody kind of shifting. But then people went too far. They went out to the stratosphere. And even if they found truth, they weren't able to ground themselves and bring it into what is functional. So that is going to happen again. And this is why you have been preparing and getting yourself acclimated to all this craziness while other people just got to chill. So you could, there has to be a somewhat adult in the room. And you are the lucky ones to be the somewhat adults. So, but at the same time, you don't have to have it all figured out. You know what this guy kind of reminds me of? What is his South Park character? The poop character? He's like a spiritual guide for them, and it's like he's a piece of poop that's like high all the time. So you're gonna be fine. You don't have to. I hope you don't feel pressured by this reading or feel like you have some big role that you're gonna have to play or anything like that. Try to see how you've been moving and helping people. If you were one of those people that were more of like 2014 or even before of these shifts and waking up, when 2020 hit and people around you started kind of questioning things, it's like that. But again, I do feel like it's more. So Um, with that being said, the other thing I'll say with that virus of 2020, how much of your life changed and your plans changed from, November, December 2019 to that year, to 2020? So there's things that are going to play out on the world stage that are going to affect your life. So some plans that you're making right now may not be viable, or there may be, or what's really going to be is going to be a much better avenue in order to get what it is that your goal is. So like the people that were wanting to buy houses and thought they were never going to be able to afford it because the houses were too high, the rates were too high, all of a sudden those rates dropped when the pandemic hit, and some people got in really, really amazingly low rates and got into their dream houses, and that was like one of the best things to happen for them, was that virus hitting, in regards to like their finances. And other people were obviously completely devastated. So you don't have to have everything figured out, because you don't know what's going to happen. So, okay. I hope all this made sense. I love you guys. I appreciate it so much. I feel like I'm definitely shifting in regards to how I do my work. I'm not going to be, at least now, who knows, I changed my mind a lot, but I'm not going to be doing any readings in regards to public events or things happening on the world stage. I know I had made a post and some people, they thought that's what I was referring to, but I was just talking about me as a person. I hadn't wanted to speak about any world events on my work account with you guys, because I wanted to keep it focused on, spirituality and stuff. But I realized that that's ignoring a whole part of life and humanity, and that's stupid, in my opinion, for me to do that. So I'm not going to be bringing it onto this channel. I will continue to spread awareness and talk about things that I wasn't normally talking about on my social media accounts. But I just kind of wanted to clarify that for anybody that was like, because I know some readers, and you can definitely find other readers on this platform. There's lots of fantastic readers that do read world events. I have done that personally for myself due to my own like curiosity, and it's very upsetting and draining. So I just really don't want to do that, to be honest. And I try not to do that too much. Curiosity killed the cat, right? And so I just, there's some energies you just don't want to tap into. So wanted to clarify that. Other than that, again, having the sale. So if you watch this shortly after it's posted, it's 40% off until the 1st of December. And my website is the1111babe.com. I do live sessions, both astrology, because we're getting a lot of questions about if I do natal chart readings and any type of astrology readings. I do offer those live only. I also have the Astro Tarot Therapy session, which is a recorded session, and I do some astrology in it and some tarot as well. But the full-on interpretations are going to be live only, because I do like to have that back and forth with you guys. And I have recorded sessions as well. Same day readings are also available at times. So other than that, I think that's going to be it. Love you guys, and I will see you at your next reading.